Today, our group talk about the company is Sony. First, let's see the contents of our group work. The first part, we will introduce the background information of Sony. Then we will talk about the reasons to move towards sustainable practice. Then we will talk about the key programs of Sony faced. At last, we will share the company's project plan and the timeline for implementation. Let's see the first part of our group work. The background information of Sony. Sony group has founded in May, and now the common group of Sony is 880.4 billion. Nowadays, Sony's new CEO, Kenshin Yoshida, is passionate about climate change and the sustainable development of the business crisis Sony suffered some years ago. And he had won the trust of shareholders by breaking down the divide that divided its entertainment sector through the sale of weaker business. After that, Sony's financial situation stabilized, and then he turned his sights to sustainability issues. Until now, he has wrote an Intel blog post titled "Sony as part of the Earth" a day after he took over as CEO. And he said that companies such as Sony are able to carry out their economic activities because of a healthy global environment. And within 9 months, Sony had developed a corresponding set of corporate values and systems. Last year, the events of the pandemic, the Black Lives Matter protests, and the string of natural disasters have promoted a rethink of employee well-being and their company's social role. In addition, since most of the finished products in Sony's business are electronics, the environmental pollution guaranteed by the production of components is a major burden on the planet. What's more, Sony recognized that as an individual or a group of people on the planet, we should be committed to sustainable development. And according to the government, he said that a sound corporate supply chain management model will have a beneficial impact on sustainable development. And Sony has adapted its supply chain management model to enable the company to better meet its sustainability goals. This is the model of Sony should made. But and then we will see the key problems Sony faced. The challenges faced by the Sony Group in addressing sustainability related issues arise mainly from the monitoring of supplies, laws, and regulations in different regions and the cooperation between industries. For example, monitors materials in electronic products that may cause pollution and damage to the environment. The materials used in various aspects of the electronic products produced and sold by Sony Group have previously been noted to be non-compliant with sustainable requirements and have been result in financial losses due to suppliers providing non-compliant materials. And in 2012, some people mentioned that in 2005, the supplies failure to comply with the EU regulation for electronic requirement led to the production of many game consoles with cables containing excessive levels of toxic heavy metals and the system export of the products being detained at the border. However, the EU is not alone in processing laws and regulations relating to sustainability. When Sony released the importance of a sustainable supply chain, the company began to require the supplies it cooperates with to cooperate with local laws and regulations while also paying attention to international laws and regulations on sustainability announcement. However, there are still some differences in laws and regulations between regions, and this places limitations on the Sony Group's ability to monitor the materials supplied by the suppliers. And also the final concern is the collaboration between the industry. Although the size and the scope of the SONY Group's operations are influential within the industry, the wide range of suppliers leads to the possibility that SONY's implementation of sustainability strategies may conflict with the interests of the suppliers. Next, we will see the reasons to move towards sustainable practice. We can see there are about 17 goals that SONY want to make. And this is also the key problem SONY faces now. And we can see from the picture, many countries in the world has faced different kinds of problems. For example, we can see in Japan, there are a lot of problems SONY faced. And also in other Asia countries like South Korea, China, Thailand, or Malaysia also faced a lot of problems. And then next, we will see the SONY's project plan and the timeline for implementation. Since 2018, under the leadership of CEO, SONY has focused on sustainability as a key element of our management approach. Starting from 2020, SONY has adopted a key performance for sustainability activities as a part of the evolution. In addition, in 2021, SONY is incorporating activities that address sustainability issues into the mid-range plans of each of its business, such as measures related to employees and the environment identified as key to each respective business. And SONY has set a KPI for those activities as part of its business performance evolution. And we have mentioned before, in 2010, we announced that the Road to Zero, which is a big long-term global environmental plan that aims to realize a sustainable society by achieving a zero environmental footprint throughout the life cycle of SONY's products and business. And SONY predicts that by the end of the year 2050, they will draw and carry out a comprehensive roadmap to achieve the goals of the plan. And SONY also has calculated that the goal of achieving 100% renewable electricity use at its own sites by 10 years from 2040 to 2030. And this is the reference we have mentioned before. And thank you for everybody watching.